Hey everyone, Kyle here from Team Engineered. Check out this episode that Jade and I recorded as a part of our 6-week solid challenge where we were resetting everything in our worlds. We were talking all things about notifications, alerts, and why you're addicted to them. Quite an interesting chat that we had at 6 o'clock in the morning, watching the sunset, having a great old chat, and you even get to see what Jade looks like at 6 o'clock in the morning. No polish. How amazing. Enjoy this episode, everyone. It's a great one. And good morning.
Good morning.
It's Friday of week 2. Where has the last 2 weeks gone?
For me, it's Friday of week 3.
Week 3, yeah, definitely.
6 weeks solid. It has gone pretty quick though, don't you reckon?
Absolutely. You know, like if you think about it, so we're now a third of the way through, almost a third of the way through, and really, you're probably only just starting to find your feet and starting to get into a rhythm, if that makes sense. So, yeah, for me, I know for me, the last 2 weeks have gone very, very quick. But yeah, to think that you're now just set in the rhythm that you can just keep going for the next 4 weeks, and that the next 4 weeks is where the magic's going to happen, so to speak.
Yeah, it really is. It's kind of like where you.
Oh yeah, look at that. No, go back to that one.
Go
Go back to that one. That was good.
Okay, let's stay here. Yep,
As much as you were sort of greyed out and blacked out, and we do love to see you in the mornings. That is pretty spectacular today.
That is pretty spectacular. Let me level it up. I've got my my standing desk still has a little bit of a lean when I've got it on this angle, but yeah, this is kind of like where we start to hit our stride, right?
Yeah.
So you've kind of should be getting past your withdrawal symptoms for all of your vices. You should be starting
Absolutely.
to get into the habit of like just get up, do whatever it is that you do to get yourself going, and like we encourage everyone to get up at least an hour earlier than what they used to, so that they could have the time, the me time, to be able to fit all the things in, but most importantly, just to have the space to be able to curate their energy in the morning before being, pulled every which way by children and partners and phone calls and life. Like the little bit of time just to have space to think, to meditate, to exercise, to refill your own cup. If it wasn't clear in advance, it's a time that you need to set that's your everyday time, so that you do train your body. Like Kyle, you haven't used an alarm clock in how
long? Years and years. So I've got an alarm set at the moment, but I'm up and going before it pretty much every day. And
I have an alarm for my anxiety, so that I don't, because I just get worried that one day.
So I've got to turn it off again. And the reason that I don't use it is there's a couple of things that sort of stack into it. And, we've talked about how we stack our habits and everything together to get the best outcome. So if I sort of go to why I don't need an alarm, it's because I've stacked the evening so that my sleep is right, so that I wake up at the time that I need to wake up. My body's refreshed and I'm ready to go. And then I've got the things that I want to do in the mornings that motivate me to be out of the bed. So there's this whole stack that goes together that allows me to not have an alarm, and the body automatically takes over. But the important part for me about not having the alarm is that my body also knows that when I'm fatigued, I can sleep in, and that's perfectly okay.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen often. It's like a handful of times over the last few years where I've slept past the time where I would have normally got up. And that's just the body saying, hey, it's time for a sleep in. It's time for a break. You've either pushed it too hard last night. It's been a really big week. The body just needs to recover. And hey, we're not training this morning, or we're not surfing, or whatever it is that the morning is.
Your body's an amazing thing. Like your internal clock is when you do learn to trust it and when it gets used to you, it's pretty reliable. And the times that it's not, it is usually because, like you've said, it needs
It's
that.
taken over.
It needs to override your system. Um, so, and that's something you really need to think about.
Most people will experience this where they'll set the alarm and they'll wake up 2 minutes before it or 3 minutes before it, and it will be
Yeah,
that close that they'll wake up before it. And as you say, the body's amazing. Like it'll be down to the minute. It knows when that alarm's going to go off, and to sort of roll back into some of
well,
the
your
art of
bladder
the
does.
impossible.
My bladder tells me when it's time. I'm like, must be just before 5.
But to go back to the art of the impossible stuff and Stephen Kotler talking about the dopamine thing. So dopamine isn't necessarily what you get as the reward for doing the things. So, for example, if you truly enjoy, like last year, I was training CrossFit 5 and 6 days a week, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So the dopamine wasn't about the enjoyment that I got from it. Your body actually learns to anticipate, and the dopamine becomes the motivation to do the things. And so, if you getting out of bed is enjoyable, if you jump up and it's awesome, I'm off to start my day. I'm off to CrossFit, or I'm off to surfing, or I'm off to skate, or whatever it is. If that's the motivation that you've got, if that's the mindset that you've got, your body takes over, and dopamine's the stuff that gets you motivated and moving.
Beautiful. So it's hacking the biochemicals in our brain.
Yeah. Yeah. If you wake up and you go, this sucks," uh, your body learns that, and it
Well,
becomes harder and harder and harder.
not only your body, right? This is the thing is we have to be really careful about the words that we tell our brain, right? So there's the two things. There's a saying that says I am not my thoughts. So where does that come from? Is that Eckhart? No, that's Michael Singer, is it? I am not my thoughts with Untethered Soul. And but the thing is, your brain and your physiology will respond to what you tell it. So the person that's most dangerous to you is you. The person that's the best coach for you is you. So if you constantly tell yourself, I fucking hate this, I hate it, I hate mornings, I hate getting up, oh this, oh it's a drag, oh why do I have to? Then your body will be, and the rest of your brain's like, yeah,
Yeah,
why do
we're
they
on
have
board
to?
with that. Yeah, fuck
Yeah,
you too.
yeah. And now I'm gonna make everything hurt just to validate what you
Yeah,
just said.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Oh,
and to make it
my
easier
toe
for
that
you.
I kicked 3 days ago now hurts too much for me to get up, and
Yeah,
the headache that I thought was coming on is now pounding
definitely.
through
Yeah.
my forehead, and so that's you touched on a really good book there that is probably a good one for everyone to jump onto. Maybe towards the end of our 6 weeks is the untethered soul, and trying to get away from the voice that's constantly yabbering away that you don't actually have to listen to.
Yeah, I call her bitch face. I went to one of my very first Mind Valley talks. Oh goodness, what's her name? I will find her name because she deserves credit for it. She is hilarious. She's an amazing lady, and she talked about the voices and the ego voice and that. And she's like, hers is Fifi, but Fifi is like this fierce poodle, and she's just like nap 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 nap, fucking nagging
That's
at her.
the
She's
one.
like, you're back in your corner, Fifi. Like,
You're too small for me. Oof.
um,
I got you
like,
covered.
so she has these personas of the different voices that are dogs, and being able to put them back in their kennel, and know when you can take them and take the lead, and when you got to pull out the bulldog or whatever.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but
But
like,
it's it's a really good conversation around. We talked about. I think on Monday or Tuesday this week we spoke about the positive comments that you make to yourself versus the negatives, and like it's a 7 or an 8 or a 9 to 1 ratio of where you need to say all the good things override the bad things. So,
Mm.
it's super important to understand the voice that's going on there. You don't actually have to listen to.
No, you can't. It may seem crazy, and Kyle and I, we know we're not the only people with voices in our head. People, you just need to admit it. That's the first step. The first step is admitting you've got voices in your head. But it is. It's that
Everybody has the voice.
everybody has the voices in their head, right? And it's that chatter, it's that self doubt, or it's that permission piece. It's the thing that's running when you're trying to make decisions and that you're giving yourself permission to do. So it'd be a really interesting exercise for you guys to go through today and kind of notice what you're hearing to yourself, what you're saying to yourself when you go to do things. Like, when you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to go and do that piece of exercise. To say, oh, but you really should be doing your work, or have you done this? Oh, you should have stacked the dishwasher.
Yep.
So start
also
listening to that.
To be mindful of the language that you use there, and instead of I've got to go and do this or I have to go and do this, I get to.
Yeah.
I get to do this. This is fun. Or, it's I've spoken about having the kids here with me in lockdown schooling and stuff, and just the change in attitude of I get to have the kids here and have time with them, and we can explore our world in their breaks and my breaks and everything else. Yeah, it's a bit of a fucking drag at times, but that change in attitude, that change in mindset means that we've had some really beautiful time here together in that lockdown that we wouldn't have got otherwise. It's time that we don't get. The kids go off to school, and we all get on that hurdy-gurdy of time. The world's fucking crazy at the moment, but take the small wins.
Yeah. And like you said, right, it's when you reprogram that, the energy resonance that you have around it, so the way that you vibrate to the kids, because in your head you're like, oh my god, this is annoying, like it's putting me out, I'm not as productive as I am, I need to keep the kids entertained, now they've got bloody schoolwork. Like, even if you think you're not saying it out loud to them, your energy will be reflecting it to them. And it's the same with team members. If you give off a vibe or have resting bitch face when someone comes to your desk to ask a question,
Even if you don't mean it.
even if you don't mean it, like, because maybe you're just so focused on, like, you've been trying to, I tell you, and he may
Hang on.
watch.
What was your post on Instagram last night?
Oh,
Fuck off and in flow.
yeah. I was cooking dinner. Wait, okay, take note of what I just said. I was cooking dinner.
Hang on.
And nobody died.
Nobody died.
Nobody died.
Now, did everybody eat it?
Yes, and everybody's only Steve, because the kids had book week today, so they didn't come last night. And he's like, the chicken you cooked the other day was good. Like, thanks.
Yeah.
He goes, but this is great. He's like, look how many meals you've got to cook. I'm like, hey, wind this shit back in. let's not get too excited when you're cooking. But it was bloody good, and it was really simple, because if I was cooking, it was simple. But in typical me state, do you know what? I think one of the things that's held me back from cooking, this is again comes to habit. Whenever I did cook for myself, I would always watch a TED Talk or a Mind Valley Talk or a something talk, and my household wasn't really used to that sort of stuff. My new household, and so that makes it clunky and hard for me to do the thing. So last night Steve was out hanging gates at stupid o'clock, and so I was like, I'm going to cook dinner, and I chucked Stephen Kotler's Mind Valley Talk from Estonia on, and I actually missed that one because I think I was presenting the same day in the other room, and so I didn't get to sit on that talk. So it was really great to drop in, and the thing I had to put it on Instagram was, if you have a organization, you have to be able to work with 100% focus. No dinging. So no phone, no email, no messenger, no anything. And he's like, so if you work somewhere that you can't hang a sign on the door that says "fuck off, I'm flowing," it's wrong. And he goes on and he says, like, and if you have a company that like has one of these stupid policies that you have to respond to messages within 15 minutes or something like that. He goes, "You're fucked." Like, I love it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And
Oh,
it's, the messenger and all of that sort of stuff. There's very few things that you actually need to respond to straight away. And so
no.
um, phones, so to go into the indistractable stuff, phones, apps, email, all that sort of stuff is designed to take your attention.
Yeah.
And a really an interesting concept to try and understand is, if the product is free, you are the product.
Yes.
And so with Facebook, it's free. It's this amazing platform that does all this fucking amazing stuff, but it's free. And why is it free? Because you're the product. You're being sold. And that platform isn't designed to work for you. It's designed to work for the people that are buying you.
Yeah. Oh, you gotta watch the social. So, oh, actually, I know how funny. I know that our Fast Five that's going out today. So, if anyone that's in my my newsletter list, they get a Friday Fast Five, and it's just literally, it's got 5 things that we think would just add value to somebody. There's always a theme. There's no sell or nothing like that. So, just 5 cool things that I've dug up. And by I mean my whole team, and Kyle sometimes. But I know in there today, it's 5 things that you need to watch on Netflix. And because we're still thinking about, I've got a lot of people that are in lockdown, or just been thrown back into lockdown last night. So,
In and out,
bit of
or
Netflix. So, like Brene's obviously on there, but The Social Dilemma. Have you seen The Social
don't believe
Dilemma?
I've seen that one.
Oh my God, you have to watch it with the kids. So it goes through, it's interviewed by the guys that created Facebook and Twitter and like did the growth hacking and how to do it. And there's a scene in there, like there's a guy that's put his phone away because he's trying not to have his phone. And then there's like the inside the tech version of him, like 3 little versions with different levers. And they're like, he's like, oh no, he's been offline for X amount of time. Like, what can we do? Oh, let's show a status from his ex-girlfriend, and it's status from like days ago. It's not even from right now. Ping, and then he's like, and trying to fight it, and then it'll be that might work, and then it's like all these different things that it does to ping you to get your attention back, or to keep your attention, or to send you down a rabbit hole. Like, I mean, nasty shit. Like, like trying to hook you into an ex. Like, it knows that you were in a relationship, and that's what would get you, and that would make you share a photo, and like all the psychology behind it, the different sounds, the color. Like they say, like how many times they test the color. And so I don't know if people realize this with the different technology platforms, but sometimes you might go, oh, your Facebook looks different to mine. What they do is they segment the database as such and split test different things on different people and different demographics before they roll it to the whole system. So you're just a crash test dummy. So it's amazing to show your kids so that they really understand what's going on with these technology platforms. And like, I mean, every sound. So for all of your applications, everything is designed to make you addicted. Like, it's fully programmed. Like, I had a candidate years ago who had come from working for Aristocrat, the what are they called? Poker
machines.
Right? And like, obviously they're made to be addictive. The sound, the colors, the way they roll, all of the stuff. And was being headhunted by the likes of Candy Crush and the apps for the free games on Facebook and social media, because he was some sort of psychologist that knew about brain things, and that's how to make it addictive. And he just came to me. He's like, "You got to get me. I'm a bad human. I'm he was
I
like,
want to use my powers for good, not evil."
He really felt like he'd sold his soul to the devil, because young, like throwing shit ton of cash to come into it, and then realized he said, I was fucking destroying people's lives, like especially with the pokies, and then going across the games. He goes, it's no different, because now they're still spending money on these things, but worse, they're spending time away from their loved ones, and we all know when kids have had screen time, they go feral.
They do.
And
They do.
every single game that those kids are playing, Minecraft. I don't know if you ever saw there was a big thing on Minecraft when it first hit Australia by psychiatrists and psychologists about what it was doing to kids and all of that background um, programming to hook them and to keep them addicted, and what the colors and everything was doing to their brains. It was like, oh my god, tangent. Sorry.
Like anything, it's okay in moderation, and it's okay to moderate yourself. And that's, a part of this challenge was to put your phone, your devices completely away for an hour a day. And these are all parts of the reason, is to try and break that addiction. And that's a big word to use, is the addiction. But it's an addiction. The phone buzzes and you go reaching for it.
Yeah. And
One
it's
of my
okay to
favorites.
be. It's okay to admit you're addicted to it, because it's been designed. If you're not addicted to it, you're lying to yourself, because it's every single thing on the device is designed to do it to you.
Yep. One of the favorite things I say to my kids is, my phone makes noise so you don't have to. You don't have to tell me it beeped. You don't have to tell me it rang. It makes noise so that you don't have to. And
I can't stand the sound having sound on the phone. Like,
yeah, yeah.
one thing that drives me crazy is someone having their binger on,
Oh,
and I can hear a phone vibrate anywhere in the house.
yep,
I don't know what it is. Like, the kids are like, I lost my phone the other day, um, and Frankie's like, I'll help you find it. She's like walking around with the iPad calling it, and she's like, is it like, has it got the sound on? What's the ringtone? I've never heard the ringtone. I said, it's not on. She's like, we're never going to find it. I said, I'll hear. Don't worry, I'll hear it. And we got
yep,
close to the car, and I was like, I could hear it like vibrating I'd put it in the cup holder, which I never do. Um,
yep, yeah.
but
And so my phone's deliberately set up that the notifications are only on maybe three things. And often they'll get turned off anyway, because they're the three things that I want to respond to. So,
I have one
for
thing:
the better part,
WhatsApp.
yeah. So WhatsApp's one of them,
I
and
have
at the
one.
moment, my WhatsApp is tight enough that there's no distraction in that. Um, the other one is text messages, because that's how the kids communicate with me. So, and for the better part, if they're sending me a message, there's a reason they're sending me a message. And because I'm constantly dealing with customers and everything, I let the ringtone come through as well. So that's the only three things. And there are times, I did it yesterday, I turned the phone to silent, like absolute silent, and totally forgot that I'd done that until 6:30 or 7 o'clock last night. So there was a few things that I'd missed as well throughout the day, which just goes to show they're not actually life threatening.
No, I just want to share a little thing. A lot of people are getting smashed with the spammers right now, like
Oh,
smashed with them.
yep,
Right? Oh my god, they're hardcore. So you can actually set your phone up to go, like, my iPhone actually, because I had a stalker, but it took it upon itself to say, if the number's not saved in your phone, would you like us to send it directly to voicemail? So there is a setting. So if the phone number's
yep,
not saved in your phone, the phone won't ring, and it'll go straight to voicemail.
yep, yep.
So, and that
And
cuts
block
you
them
know what, the
all.
spammers, not the you can some of them are brazen. Some of them leave a voice message, like they've got a recorded, like, the ATO needs you to call because
Yep,
a warrant for your arrest is out. We don't use
yep.
that term here, sorry. Yeah.
I had so
But
much fun with one of them the other day, because they called me and said they were the federal police and it was a fraud case. And, um, you know, and I went, oh, okay, yeah, sure. Let's make sure that it's not me. So I spelt out my name as Santa Claus, and then explained to them the fanciful kids character. And they went, yeah, that's the one. We've got your file up.
yeah,
Um,
Steve did something similar, but his name was Fuck space last name OFF. Excellent. And because he had to pay his fine. And what was the number on your card, sir? Yep. Yeah.
yeah,
I was like,
just crap.
yeah,
So I guess we've been rambling for a little bit longer than we normally do on a morning.
we
We've
have.
gone off on a couple of tangents. I- so I think the key thing that we've got today, that we really spoke about today, was the distraction thing. So the turning the device off, having that hour of complete device-free time is all about breaking the cycle, breaking the addiction, and getting away from it. And that's why, right at the start, I said, no, it's not music. No, it's not whatever it is. It's nothing.
Nothing.
Nada.
I have to admit, I failed the challenge yesterday. Remember how I was supposed to go to the hairdresser and not annoy them? Yeah, no. But in my defense, Melanie really needed a call, and Kay needed some help. And do you know what the hairdresser said to me? I said, I'm so sorry. I hate to be that person. So, do you know what? It was really nice listening to something else. And like, are you a life coach? And I'm like, no, I'm a business coach. And they're like, and we didn't have to do all the talking. She goes, sometimes you're just fucking done with talking. And they're like, I said, I'll try really hard next time to just bring my book. And they're like, bring your book, don't talk to us, that's great. So, but if you want to sit there and talk to other people, that's also great. It was really interesting. Because I was really worried that I was going to a new hairdresser and they wouldn't have me back.
Nice. So there's your love as well for the day, where you help them out and you save them from having to waste their words for the afternoon.
Yeah, and I may have found someone for the hairdresser's brother has Asperger and ADHD, and they've been looking for a life coach for him. And so I've reached out to Michelle to see if she could support. And they said, if you can help us, we'll give you a free. We'll come in. We'll look after you. Like
If
that's
it's not
how.
Michelle, it'll be Nikki.
Oh, great! I knew it was one of them.
Yep.
Oh, it's going to be Nikki.
Michelle.
It'll be Nikki. It'll be Nikki. Yeah.
Nikki will be amazing.
Yeah. So, yes, I will speak to Nikki. Thank you. That's a good reminder. So I just wanted to be honest and say I did fail. Yeah.
And we do. And that's okay.
Really challenge yourself. This morning I challenged myself. I always listen to something while I'm getting ready. But this morning I decided just to have the silence, which was deafening. No. Kyle and I go live like this every morning at 6 a.m. about different topics. We screw all off. The topic we started with doesn't always be the topic we end with, but it's all things to help you reset yourself and refill your cup and be a better self-leader, which then in turn makes you a better leader within your own orbit. So you don't need to be a leader of a company. You don't need to be the leader of your family. You can just choose to be the leader of your circle. And yeah, it's just been awesome to see everyone sharing their ideas and motivating each other in that group.
It's been amazing. And of course, the most important thing, have an amazing day today.
Have an amazing day today. I'll see you a little later. Oh, I'll see you at 9:30, Kyle.
Absolutely.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.